me, who did you come to see?
Marina Sirtis.
Who did you come to see? All right, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Marina Sirtis.
Did Ethan sit down?
Yes.
You want a non-fumigated tree?
He's old, isn't he? Is that why he needs to sit down? I never sit down. Unless there's a big ass table sometimes for a panel and there's no room for me. So I'm the DJ for the evening. Goodness gracious, look at this. Okay. Hi everyone.
Hi.
God, I haven't had a little gathering like this for about 25 years. Don't even need a microphone. This is great. So hi everyone, good morning. Thanks for coming to Northwest Arkansas. It didn't even, you know, it was interesting because on the ticket thing, it said Bennington, is it? Bentonville. But at the airport, it doesn't say Bentonville. It says Northwest Arkansas. I'm looking for Bentonville. There's no Bentonville. I'm like, they're sending me to somewhere that doesn't exist. And then, I know, then I have to actually find the flight number, and it's Northwest Arkansas. Is this changed recently? Is this a new change, or has it always been the airport Northwest Arkansas?
They changed it from the regional fake one in Fayetteville.
Right.
They just built X&A probably a couple of years ago.
And they haven't gotten around to changing the names yet?
Probably not.
Right. But with computers, that might be quite easy to do that. Not confuse
You're in
tourists.
Arkansas.
But I'm in Arkansas. And I have been here before. About 15, maybe more years ago, I did a creation convention in Little Rock. Who was there? You don't look old enough to have been there. Oh, you were 3.
I was like 11.
Oh, shut up. That's the scariest part, actually, because I was doing a con in Pasadena when I still used to work for Creation, because I don't work for them anymore because I hate them. But anyway, and they actually, it's mutual. They hate me too. So it's a mutual thing. But because I'm a bit of a troublemaker. You'd never know it, of course, but you know, people who know me know that that's not really outside the box. You should talk to Melissa about that in Toronto a couple of weeks ago when I went off at security. Yeah, I went off at security. He goes, "You have to move from there," and I went, "So move me." I actually apologised the next day because I was really mean to him. Anyway, I think my hormones were raging. This will happen, girls, when you hit menopause. You go crazy. My husband said when women hit menopause, men have to go into a mental pause. Right? So where was I? And this is the other thing, you actually forget what you were talking about when you go off the subject. But anyway, oh yes, Pasadena, and there was a girl came up and showed me a picture, and there was a woman holding a baby, and this girl was like taller than me now, you know, in her teens, maybe older, and I said, "Oh great, so why are you showing me this picture?" And she goes, "I was the baby." I was like, "Get off the stage and never come and see me again." So anyway, actually, I would imagine apart from this young lady and Melissa, Megan and Amy and Dory, hi, who have travelled vast distances to be here, unlike you all who are local, right? You're not local? Where are you from?
I'm from Central Arkansas.
You're from where?
Central Arkansas.
You're still in Arkansas. It doesn't count. Dory's come from Ohio. Oh, Iowa. One of the, you know,
Austin,
other Midwestern states. Austin, Texas? Where'd you actually live, Megan? West Virginia, right? Kansas. Well, that's close. Kansas is like next door, right? Yeah. Ohio. Okay. Well, thank you for coming. Did you drive? Did you fly?
Yes.
You drove. Okay, you're all crazy. But anyway, so a lot. Who has actually seen me, apart from people I just pointed out? Who's seen me before? Right.
That's why we're here.
It's unbelievable. Well, no, actually, I get a lot of repeat business, actually. Yeah, I do get a lot of repeat business because I'm funny. You're late.
But I'm allowed,
You're allowed to be late. Why?
because I'm an admiral
You're an admiral in real life or in Star Trek world?
in Star Trek.
Okay, forget it. It's just a TV show. It's not real. This is what I told Kate Mulgrew. You're not really a captain, honey. It's just a TV show.
Can you see anybody telling me I'm late other than you?
No, but I can tell you you're late because I'm up here and you're down there. Yeah. Anyway, so okay, so basically those of you who have seen me before, you're going to know all the stories, and those of you who haven't seen me before, great, you haven't heard the stories before. I will tell you, when we get to the question and answer part, I will tell you anything you want to know about anybody else. Okay? I'm the honest one. I actually tell you the truth, unlike all the others who tell you what they think you want to hear, right? But I actually tell the truth. It gets me in trouble. It does. Paramount had a party when I left. Because I was like the Bolshevik. I was like always causing trouble. They were happy to see the back of me. And have I ever worked for them again? No. I burned a lot of bridges there, which is kind of stupid when you're an actress to have people hate you, you know, because you're always making trouble. But it's kind of who I am. And so I remember Patrick once said to me, "Marina, darling, just because you have an emotion doesn't mean you need to express it." I have no filter, you see. It's just goes brain, mouth, out. There's nothing in between. So that's what gets me in trouble. Anyway, a lot of you will be wondering, a lot of you who haven't seen me before are thinking, she's English, right? I meet a lot of people still who didn't know I was English because I was doing that weird accent on the show. And actually, I went into CBS last week or the week before. It's all a bit hush-hush, but they're coming out with a new thing, and it's going to be fantastic. They're doing Blu-rays now of the series, but I had said to them that I thought the show looked dated now with all the new technology that's come out, kind of looks a bit old-fashioned. Not anymore. They fixed it. It's unbelievable. It looks like CGI now. It's unbelievable. So save your pennies. You're going to have to buy the whole series in Blu-ray and then in 3D. Which will come up after the Blu-ray. And hopefully my husband will be involved in that because he's got a 3D thing going, which is pretty 3D without glasses. So we're trying to sell that to CBS right now. So we haven't gotten to the question and answer part yet.
What about the Blu-ray though?
Oh, what?
Are you going to have commentaries on it?
I think probably. They're going to have to pay us. Because, excuse me, oi, where are you going? Anyway, yes, there will be commentary. We're going to have to negotiate that because basically, you know, they've been ripping us off for years at Paramount and CBS, so we don't work for them for free anymore, right? And you can understand that, right? They make billions and billions of dollars, and trust me, none of us can afford to retire, right? Except possibly Patrick. And people always used to say to me, now why is it that you know, they use them the most in the movies, you know, in the series not so much, but in the movies they were definitely Patrick and Brent movies, right? Well, when whoever gets paid the most gets to act the most. That's the way it works, right? So imagine, you know, I was in it this much and they were in it that much, and that was the difference in our salaries, right? So the rest of us can't afford to retire, so we're all still trying to get work. But anyway, so as I was saying, a lot of you didn't know I was English. Many of my fans don't know that I'm English. And the reason I did that accent was because, actually, as you probably all know, I was auditioning for the part of Tasha Yar in the beginning. And she was supposed to be from Eastern Europe, not unlike a certain other, you know, actor in the original show, who was also from Eastern Europe. You're late. There's another one that's late, okay? And so when I was auditioning for Tasha, I was doing this Eastern European accent. And then when, actually there's a seat down here. Do you want to sit down? Come and sit down, move your stuff, Admiral. Okay, sit down, love. There you go. Oh, my husband's got a pair of leg warmers like that. When he was in the Van Halen tribute band. And he wore we still have the outfits. Yeah, what? Really? So I make him dress up in the David Lee Roth every now and again. Well, you have to bring some spice when you've been together for 23 years, right? Anyway, 23 years, have to say, that's dog years in Hollywood. Right? Dog years in Hollywood. And yeah, you know, Kim Kardashian got married last weekend, was it? Weekend before? Yeah, she hasn't announced the date of her divorce yet. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the accent. So I was doing this Eastern European accent, and then 3 auditions in, they switched Denise and I around, and she started auditioning for Tasha, and I started auditioning for Troy. Now, when I went in for the final 3 auditions, I had to do it 3 times. I would do it in the Eastern European accent, in my own English accent, and then in this really bad American accent, because I'd only been in the country a few months by that point, and I hadn't picked it up yet. So when I got the job, they said, okay, you've got the job, you have to do an accent. And I said, well, where do you want the accent to come from? And they said, B to Z. Right, so I went, great. I can make up an accent. You know, who's going to tell me I'm doing it wrong? Right? Hands up, all the betazoids in the audience. Right? So I made up this accent, and of course I was so grateful to be employed at this point that I didn't really feel appropriate. It was appropriate for me to say, excuse me, why the hell should I be doing an accent? The captain, you know, it was because captain was English, you see, and so they didn't want 2 Brits on the bridge. And I didn't want to say to them, well, excuse me, why am I doing an accent? He's supposed to be French. And I don't know if you know this, but the English hate the French. Right? Actually, everyone hates the French. Right? What's the first thing that French kids learn in school? How to say I surrender in 5 languages, right? That joke doesn't go down well in Eastern Canada. Where I'm going to be next week. So, anyway, so I actually, you know, I never could figure out why, because of this. I mean, we had a 100-year war with France and England. 100 years, right? And then we go and build a tunnel joining the 2 countries together. Blew my mind. I thought, why? And then I watched Star Trek, and I realised, because of TNG, by the 24th century, there are no more French-speaking people left in France. We go through the tunnel, we infiltrate, and we've taken over. Yay! And actually, so I did this accent, and you know, she was very foreign in the beginning. I was watching at CBS, they were showing me bits of Encounter at Farpoint. Okay, I have to commend you all for sticking with the show after the first few episodes. Because they were hideous, really. I mean, they were bad, weren't they? I mean, my performance, I was amazed I wasn't fired after Encounter at Farpoint. My performance was Star Trek meets Sophie's Choice. Did I stop crying at all in that episode? It was like, oh, I watched it like this, horrified. We had a big screening at the studio. I'm horrified. I'm watching it through my fingers. I'm dating this guy, pre-Michael. Who's also a musician. He was in The Babies, the one before. And I've got a thing for musicians. I like long hair on boys. What can I tell you? Anyway, so I'm watching it like this, and there was a party afterwards, and he said, oh, come on, we're going to the party. I said, oh, no, we're not. And I didn't go to the party. I was so embarrassed with my performance, I couldn't face anybody after that. But I assumed that I was doing the Betazoid accent. But then Mom came along. Well, she obviously was from the American sector on Betazoid. Because she didn't have an accent.